Everyone, it's Saturday night replay for round 21. 4 games today as the countdown to the finals continues. Our main games from Windy Hill and Princes Park. Also, Scott Palmer has the latest from the rooms, plus a look at what made news on this round in years past in footy flashbacks. First to Windy Hill, where Essendon was trying to regroup after losing its last 3 games against a Melbourne side that was attempting to stop a losing streak of 4 on the trot. Perhaps hardly the form that would warrant match of the day status, but with both still in line for a berth in the 5, that's the way, indeed, it had turned out. History suggested a bomber victory, as the Demons have been successful in only 1 of their last 16 games between these two sides, and that was in round 10 last year, their first win, incidentally, at Windy Hill since 1978. A welcome re-inclusion for Essendon was Paul van der Haar, playing his first game for the year, while Wilson and Spalding in were only 2 or 4 changes for Melbourne. And incidentally, there were 2 late changes. Dwyer and Williams in the selected sides were replaced by Campbell and Chris Danaher, respectively. With me in the commentary box, Peter McKedder and Don Scotts, and tonight we pick up the action with some highlights of the first half.
It certainly wasn't intended for that player. Madden. Big fist away, chance for Lovell, snapshot at goal, rolls and has rolled through. Onto the left foot he goes to half forward. Doug Coop, beautiful football by Coop, centres the ball. Here's a chance for Wilson, another one coming up from the Demons. Onto the left foot out wide. Greg Anderson raced at the ball, but they've got a bad bounce. This is Dean Wallace who came on the ground, firing a goal from the boundary line. What a good mark to Chris Danaher coming over the top. Wallace had a shot for goal.
Those types of rallies.
Right in front, slight angle, kicks and goals. Well, good attempt by Campbell. Williams is there to back him up. Williams hooks it back, centres it. Brilliant play by Williams. And a beautiful mark coming in from the side, and that's David Flintoff.
The wingman.
Well, what a top mark. David Flintoff from directly in front with the reply. There's the kick. Allows for the breeze, and he has sneaked it in. Watson again. Essendon veterans doing well. Out to Anderson. Kicks from the edge of the square. Oh, plenty of distance in the kick. Needs accuracy, and has got it, I think. Gets the hand pass out, stretch in the road. It rebounds well for Baker. Steins was there. Izard breaking clear. Fellow redhead Darren Buick. Will he go over the top to Salmon? He will, and it's a goal. It's a rotten luck, of course, in recent times. Paul van der Haar broken the... Oh, it's 50 metres.
Yeah, that's 50 metres. Why is it 50 metres?
Well, Steins and Winter are having plenty to say to umpire Sheehan.
I think it was because the Melbourne players played on.
Away. 15 metres out and has put it through for a goal. Here's their chance as we see Lovell onto the left foot. A good looking shot. And he's gone. Gary Lyons got it. Left foot. Chips it back. Clever kick. Well, the mark has been taken by Wilson. A very, very clever kick that by Lyon.
Oh, he's a good player, Lyon, because when their pressure is on, Lyon is always there. If I've got a criticism, Gary does tend to float in and out of the game.
Well, here's the kick by Wilson. And another one up to the Demons.
Play seesawing in the first half, and the bottom line was that Melbourne led at the main change by only 3 points. We're going to rejoin the play now in the third quarter. Essendon...
Second half from Windy Hill. Essendon trails by 3 points. They trailed by 9 at quarter time. Melbourne got 3 late goals in that time-on period of the second quarter. Anderson tries to fumble the ball forward. No one having much success in getting it out of that centre circle. Clayton has decided to get on a bounce. Anderson kicked a brilliant goal from inside the square in that previous term. It was a gem. Madden playing game number 300. On to Clark. On to Terry Danaher. 3 Danahers in the Essendon side today. Beautiful hand pass out to Izard. Good hip and shoulder. Put him out of business from Grinter. Lovell. Love it. Picking it up well as Clark. Right on centre wing. Spears the pass to Baker. Looked like a push in the back. The umpire didn't think so. In the forward pocket. Out of bounds in front of Salmon and Dersma. Dersma to turn around. Big bleeding from that right eye, or he has been. Now, and these are in the hands of the trainers.
Oh, no wonder.
Steins at the back. Hawker, he's been a quiet player today. Ball thrown out virtually by Healy.
Clark hit hard then.
And obviously is the last to get up. He's copped a few in his time, Stephen Clark. Knocked away by Steins. It is out of bounds, and we'll see a boundary throw in about 35 to 40 metres around from the scoring area.
Well, no score so far in this quarter. 3 points the difference. Melbourne in front. A vital game for both sides. Lost to Essendon and nearly put them out of business as far as the finals is concerned. Here's Greg Anderson, who Peter mentioned a moment ago. A beautifully directed kick. That's better kicking skills. He found Paul Van der Haar about 25 to 30 metres out from goal, directly in front.
Well, Sean White, you can see there on screen, he's trusting his arm or his judgment just a little bit too much and giving Van der Haar too much latitude.
Well, he's taken 8 marks, Van der Haar, and it's a nice looking drop punt, and it's a goal.
Essendon back in front.
Yes, well, Melbourne have got the problems. They say their forward line's a problem, but today I think it's their back line, because their backmen are just too loose. They're trusting their judgment just a little bit too much. You can see how much latitude Sean White gave to Van der Haar on that occasion. Van der Haar confidently led into the space, and a great kick also by, I think it was Anderson.
Yes, Greg Anderson, and he kicked that brilliant goal earlier. Again, the margin is 3 points, but it's been reversed, and Essendon is in front. Oh, gee. Mark Harvey went in very hard. He's in after it again. It's still in the centre of the ground, and the bounce will take place.
Characteristic of Mark Harvey's play, he goes really hard at that ball.
And terrific player, Mark Harvey, was taken off in the first quarter for not giving a pass, I would think, to Madden, who was alone in the goal screen. This will be another bounce, and umpire Brian Sheehan to officiate.
Edwardson spectator, Bill Duckworth. Madden and Steins down to Anderson. Good tackle by Lovell. Road. He's moved on to Terry Danaher after Lovett proved a little bit too loose. It was almost a mark brought in by Gary Fulton. The umpire didn't think so. Watson tries to barge his way through. Does it beautifully. Harvey. Back to Watson. It's around Steins. On to Clark. 50 metres out. Long shot at goal. Goes pretty close. And he's threaded it. Great play, Essendon.
Timmy Watson is one of those players that has anaerobic power. He's got tremendous power, or that anaerobic ability. The aerobic ability is that to keep on keeping on the endurance side. He hasn't got much of that, Tim, but you can see there the explosive power and strength that he does possess. It was just strength and power that got him away, set it up to Clark, and a brilliant goal.
Back into play. Madden went up one-handed. Clark, clever knock on. Might be just a little bit too strong for Van der Haar. Ball, though, still in play, close to the boundary line. Picked up by Van der Haar. Centering kick. Some height needed here. They've got Danaher in front, who takes the great mark.
They're getting on chopped on.
It's not good, is it? You're a Melbourne supporter. The way they did it, an intelligent play by Van der Haar. You see there the use of the body, and Coop just too small on that occasion. May not have gone in just that little early, taken a step back, then come over the top of Danaher, but he was just caught out of position.
Danaher going for goal number 2. He stabs at it, and it's there.
Yes, well, they are playing well, and it was great play there by Paul Van der Haar. He looked at the goal and then looked back towards the centre, saw options. The option was Terry Danaher, and that was a centering kick. He actually brought the ball backwards. So it was a deliberate kick or pass to Terry Danaher, and it came off, and it's good to see forward play come off like that.
Grinter. Chris Danaher and Williams. That's Anthony Danaher. Then Hawker. Right half forward flank. Two blondes go for it. The taller one has got it. That's Paul Van der Haar.
He's good look today, Don. He's looked terrific today, Don.
I said earlier, Peter, at the start of the game, that Essendon fellows are prepared to put themselves in front in windy conditions like that. Now, that ball was being kicked into the breeze. Trots back to the back pocket where his man Ricky Jackson is standing with his hands on his hips.
Well, that says a lot, I think, for what a good mark to Grinter, but that says a lot for their forward line. They really do struggle up forward, Melbourne. Here's Coop from centre wing. Watson underneath the ball. Here's a chance for the Demons. Wilson receives from Healy. Brian Wilson straightens up. He's got an open goal. He hooks it back and he's put it through.
Certainly needed that one, Don.
Well, you've got your heart in your mouth every time Brian Wilson got the ball for the mere fact that he hasn't got great speed when he does get it. He looks for the handball and it's just not on sometimes, and he does get tagged a lot. But this time he did get away. A quick handball from Greg Healy, and Wilson just getting around his Essendon opponent. That was a good kick for goal because that was quite a fair way out on a difficult angle.
Well, the difference...
3 goals to Brian Wilson.
Well, Kevin Sheedy be a little bit worried at this stage because Essendon have been well on top in this quarter. Should be probably further in front. Well, there's the man that could lift Melbourne, Brian Wilson. Quick kick towards the half-forward line. A courageous and good mark. That by Chris Danaher. He's got a loose man out wide him. We set up Watson here. Oh, good strong mark by Watson. He's had an outstanding... well, his second and third quarters have been brilliant. To O'Donnell. Should have been unloaded then. O'Donnell, he really should have been as he runs to half-forward. This is Gary O'Donnell lining up the goals. Oh, what a great goal that was.
Well, you called it. I was glad it was you and not me. He should have been, as you said, Peter, unloaded there. He was set up and the hip and shoulder was on. And the penalty was paid. You see here, there, bang. He should have been set up, but no, he ran on. And that was bad play by the Melbourne player. It was Alan Johnson in question. I know it's not in his nature to do that type of thing, but he could have at least laid a tackle or impeded O'Donnell in some way. But they've paid the penalty, 12 goals. Just the mere fact that he contested, brought the ball to ground, anything can happen in that situation.
17 points the difference. White over the top. Healy snapshot smothered. Walsh knock away to Watson. Possession number 23 for Tim Watson. Long hand pass for Harvey. Gets around Grinter, but only just. Oh, good tackle on Baker. Ball spills for Jackson. Jackson up towards right half forward. Oh, lovely one-hander taken by Alan Johnson. Out to Spalding. Steadies. It's coming around nicely. And is through for a goal. And they needed that one.
Well, he's an amazing player, Paul Spalding. He's a very gifted athlete. He doesn't train as hard as what he could and probably doesn't push himself as hard as what he could, but he has represented Western Australia as a fast bowler in cricket, and the ability that this man has got is more than a lot of footballers do possess in league football today. It's a pity that he just can't apply himself just that little bit more, because that was a classical goal. Real art.
11 points the difference, and as I said earlier, the Bombers just can't shake them off at the moment. They've been well on top for the whole quarter. There's Hawker, a quick kick out of the centre, and waiting back there to take an easy mark is Graham Yates. And well, he's off. Vanderhart almost got him. Hand pass over the top. He's in the centre of the ground. The kick is by Rode, a long raking kick. Oh, ducking back was Chris Danaher. He and his brother Tony down there doing a power of work. This is the pace of Izzard. Long hand pass, but talk about pace. Here's another man possessed with plenty of that. That's Jackson. Oh, Steins couldn't take the mark. Here comes the brilliant Watson again. A long kick towards half forward. This is Buick, who he wanted to play on. He ought to go back and have a shot from there, I think. Now he's going for the short one. Oh, to Hawker. It was a poor kick. Dersma's there off the ground. You should have a shot for goal from there, for sure. Here we see with the ball, Mark Harvey. He's 65 metres out from goal. Another shocking kick. Now, there's no excuse for that. And straight in the hands of Lovell. Well, the field kicking, been terrible. Oh, Matt has unloaded. I think it's Doug Coop, and he is down and maybe out. It's with Hawker. That was a very, very heavy knock towards full forward. Salmon, the ball hits the deck. It's punched away by Graham Yates. Kicked away. Here's danger because Baker's got it. He sprints to half forward. The short kicks on another poor pass. Why don't they shoot for goal, some of these players from 40 metres out, Don?
I just can't believe that handball that was on before. Now that's just a hospital. We saw that. That was a hospital hand pass. It just was not on. Couldn't even deviate. Oh, that's shocking play, Melbourne. That is
it's shocking luck for poor Doug Coop. Been in pretty good form. He's really hit a good patch of form, and he was set up, as Don said, and Simon Madden was hip and shoulder, but he was airborne. He had no chance.
Madden's number's been taken, I think, Peter. I think the umpire's gone across. He's taking his pad out and getting Coop's number. Now that should be interesting to see that one on replay. Because I didn't think the elbow was raised at all.
I didn't either. But he was airborne.
Well, it was a hip.
It looked hip and shoulder, didn't it?
What's in the replay? Now that's a bad hand pass by Lovell.
No, that's not reported.
That's not reported.
It's unduly rough play.
Well, we saw a terrible one last night too.
I'm asking the question, Don.
Yeah, well, I don't want to argue, but I mean that's what's wrong with football nowadays. Those things were part and parcel. I'm not saying umpires just don't appreciate they were part and parcel of football once upon a time. That was a legitimate bump.
Yes, I think it was on that occasion. Sometimes you see there's Simon Madden. He's a very fair player, Madden.
Here.
But over the years, you do see some guys set guys up. I really don't think he set him up then.
Well, Madden was committed, wasn't he? The hand pass was on, and what Coop ran straight at
Coop was committed.
That's right. They were just that collision.
Rotten luck for young Doug Coop.
Bad luck for Simon Madden to be reported on his 300th game. I don't think he would wish that. So a bounce. Umpires very quickly found a free kick, as they often do after instances like that.
Well, that's Gary Lyon, a heavy knock, and also Doug Coop, so they're in trouble, Melbourne.
Cooper Lyon's still sitting on the bench, so...
Well, concussion, he won't be much value if he comes back on.
Stephen Clark has the free kick. Outside 50. But Madden, there he is. Directly in front of goal, and Simon Madden does not miss too many shots like this with his left foot.
No, it's good play by Madden. Actually, his brother Justin also does that. A lot of ruckmen stay a kick behind the play, but Justin also drifts down on that forward line and takes a big mark, as his older brother Simon did on that occasion.
So Simon Madden for his first goal today. 35 metres out. And goals.
Well, that report obviously hasn't upset Simon Madden at all. 31st for the season, and over 300 games he's kicked 462 goals. Last week he was a good player and played at centre-half forward as well as in the ruck, but he is a very, very good high mark. Very good kick, not much error or allowance for error the way he drops the ball so close to the... Could have put it on his left foot, but tried to go onto his right, just too slow.
18 points the difference. Over the top is White, down to Watson. Harvey inside the square. Essendon, I sort of feel, should be further than 3 goals in front. They're playing much better than that at the moment. Down goes Madden. In comes Buick. That could be another one to make it 4 in front. He's goal.
Well, Darren Buick, who had an injury earlier on in the game, a knee injury, I think it was in the second quarter, was replaced, but obviously he's all right at the moment. And it's good to see he's all right, because I feared the worst. A player doesn't like having an injured knee, but here's that high ball. Van der Haar under there. The mere fact of players coming out and contesting really does create a lot of options. And there's the former Perth player, or Western Australian, Darren Buick, who's a close neighbour to our fellow commentator Dennis Cometti.
1.5 minutes left in the third quarter. Essendon leads by 4 goals now, and Melbourne in all sorts of trouble. Watson again, as Don Scott said, has had a great third quarter. It's out to Izard from midfield. Spears the pass down to half forward. A juggle from Van der Haar as he takes mark number 11.
Oh, is that 50?
It'd have to be.
I can't work this out.
Essendon supporters
That
want it.
had to be 50, didn't it?
Well, I thought Van der Haar might have been holding Campbell on that occasion, but I don't know. When is it 50 and when isn't it 50?
He could kick this Van der Haar.
Oh.
Could go for the spiral punt. Is that a mark to Clark? No, one behind. So 25 points the difference now in favour of Essendon.
Well, they're looking good. Kevin Sheedy with a pretty satisfied look at his face at the moment. Look at that booming kick by Grinter. Oh, over the back of Izard. There's smaller players starting to come right into it for Essendon. Here's Folds. Folds to the pocket. And it is thumped away by Grinter again. And over the line. Darren Buick on screen. Don Scott, a wealth of information. Told us he used to live near Dennis Committee. 14-9 to 10-8. Here's Baker. The quick hand pass to Foles. Now it's Stephen Clark having a long shot at goal off the side of the boot and out of bounds on the full. But really, Essendon should be a lot further in front. They have absolutely dominated this quarter. And there's the siren to end the quarter and a three-quarter time here at Windy Hill. The Bombers lead 14-9-95 to Melbourne 10-8, a total of 68.
Players taking up their positions for the resumption of play. Final quarter just about to get underway. At Windy Hill, Essendon leads by 25 points at the final change after they booted 6-4 to 2 goals during the third quarter. They trailed at the first 2 changes. Salmon starting in the ruck. Steins boots Melbourne forward up to their half-forward line. Now out it comes to Williams, who gets the hand pass away to Jackson. Not a good one. Danaher breaking clear. Gives it to Hamilton. Tony Danaher. 3 Danahers playing today for the Bombers. Players all misjudging that one. Wilson in front. Finally picked up by Salmon, the tallest man out there. Wobbles a punt kick up towards left half forward. Coming out as Dersma. Not a long kick. The result is okay. It's marked by Love at right centre wing. His kick dropping a little bit short. Chris Danaher at the back of the pack. So too for Essendon as Walsh. Shows them how it's done. Out to Izzard. Gets flattened by Spalding. And it will be thrown back into play about 55 metres around from the scoring area. Essendon bench. Probably a little bit happier than the Melbourne one at the moment. And Healy, he's had a quiet day. Good mark taken by Sean White. And he should be within kicking distance. He's marked about 40 metres out.
And they really do have to get the first couple of goals,
don't they?
To have any chance.
25 down at the moment. Sean White started in defence. Desperation moves by John Northey, trying to lift the side. That's a beautiful kick distance-wise. The accuracy, wait on the go umpire. I think it's okay. It is. That's just what they needed, Don.
Well, it's copy good kick as far as Sean White is concerned. If you get a look at that on replay, the taut instep and the straight knee and the correct follow-through, and he really jumped into that ball. Now, that was a magnificent kick. Very, very, very well executed by Sean White, who's only been playing football, as we've said a lot of times, about 4 years now.
Well, it's back in the centre, and that might be the spur they need. 3 goals won the difference. Another quick one will put a bit of pressure on Essendon. There's Danaher. Quick kick out of the centre, but it's with Wilson to Healy. They're the guys they want firing. A quick kick down towards the forward line. Oh, the mark is dropped down there, but he's good enough to go and get it again. He's been an excellent player, Anthony Danaher. And a beautiful pass. We found Baker. He's on half-back. Baker's brought it to the centre of the ground. The big arms of Salmon now doing the ruck work. They're resting Madden down at full forward. All Salmon. That's what the Bomber supporters want to see from him. He has got some talent. There's the short kick. Watson. Oh, he's been outstanding. 14 kicks, and here is 15th kick and 14 hand passes. Let's see if he can put it through. Beautiful looking kick on the left, and he has put it through.
Well, there's no excuse for the bad marking or checking or whatever else you'd like to call it. Picking up opponents, as Melbourne have been extremely loose. And Watson there on screen, just getting away. He was just given too much latitude by himself. Where's his opponent? Well, he just was not in screen. Watson on the ball, being picked up by Lovell, just getting away on that occasion, and a magnificent left foot kick, because Tim is normally a right foot kick.
25 points the difference. 4 goals won, in fact, and well, it's very difficult for Melbourne now as Salmon against Steins. Healy, a quick kick, only travelled a metre. Steins taps it on towards half forward. Williams received from Spalding, a hand pass wide to Wilson. Now let's see what Brian Wilson can do. He sprints around, he's trying to get in the kick, but he was covered from all angles. O'Donnell bumped off the ball. A high tackle was on Walsh, and Kevin Walsh will take the kick at half back.
Every time Williams has got the ball in this the last quarter, he's handballed it. He set Jackson up before, and he set Wilson up there again. Why can't he kick it?
Exactly, particularly as they want goals and want them quickly.
Kick up towards centre field. taken by Steins.
He's tried hard, Pete.
He has. Lone hand in the ruck today with O'Dwyer missing. And a good mark by Anthony Danaher again. Hand pass onto Clark. Uses his speed. Not a good kick on the run. Plenty of opposition though out there. Chance for Rowe. Oh, that's just about holding the ball. Umpire concurs. Playing the free kick. Anderson will take it at midfield, and he can kick long, as we've seen earlier in the day. Kicked a great goal in the second quarter. Plenty of distance in that kick. And the hard, did he get first touch? It's a mark. His 12th mark.
Too tall there, Don. Just thinking that takes me back years to a magnificent battle that was on between Peter Knights, who's now coaching the Brisbane Bears, and Paul Van der Haar. It was Van der Haar's first half, and they just flew for marks like that all day. It was just magnificent stuff. And then it was Knights' turn in the second half. It was just something you have to be here to believe.
Yes, I remember that game well. It was one of the all-time great one-on-one battles, and Van der Haar has popped it through.
That wasn't a very, very good kick off the boot. We saw Sean White earlier with the taught instep and straight knee, but if we reflect back on that one of Paul Van der Haar, the toe was cocked and the knee was bent. We'll see here the mark. Van der Haar bringing it down on the second occasion. And a straight kick, we just couldn't quite see the bent knee and the inverted toe.
Well, Campbell's just too small to be playing on Van der Haar.
But they've got magnificent firing power down there when you've got Van der Haar at 6'4" and also Madden at 6'4", 5 or 6.
Paul Van der Haar, 12 marks today, 11 kicks, 5 hand passes, and he's capped it off with 2 goals. 20 and 3/4 minutes left in this match. 31 points the difference in favour of the home side. Windy Hill has not been a happy hunting ground for Melbourne. O'Donnell out to Harvey. Melbourne has won only once here, last 10 or 11 years or so. Harvey, Anderson marking inside 50. And if we can take it some sort of a yardstick, Peter, that goal he kicked in the second quarter, he's in exactly the same position.
Well, if he has a shot, I think he'll make the distance because he is a long kick. There's the kick from Anderson. It's a high floater. Didn't quite get there. There's Madden there. Oh, he nearly took the mark too. It's right in front of the goal. Lovett has had a pretty ordinary day. Brett Lovett. Ritter still getting the hoots of the Essendon crowd. All behind the play with Strong Shepherd. Here he is again. Oh! Played across the head to Tim Watson. And from Jamie Dersma. Made Timmy earn that one, but what a brilliant game. Let's have a look at it. Open hand, not too serious. The mark has been taken by Izzard at the 50-metre mark. No one on the mark. He should go. Yes, he does now. He sprints, straightens up, hooks it across the face. Where's Madden? There he is. Couldn't quite take the mark. Dersma's there. Long hand pass out wide to Stretch, and Melbourne bring it out of defence.
Stephen Stretch been one of their better players today too. Stretch from right half back. Tries to get some distance in the kick. Chris Danaher, great diving attempt to take the mark. He can't gather it. Throw-in will be about 55 to 60 metres out from Melbourne's goal. Just they need a few now.
Just reflecting on the attitude of the two sides. When Alan Johnson went across to lay that Shepherd to allow Stretch to get away, he got hit behind the ear. He looked to the umpire to say, what about my free kick? Just a thing on attitude.
Salmon. Jackson doesn't get a good bounce. 2 Essendon players are there. Tony Danaher to Anderson to Clark. Backup support from Hawker. He could give it to Walsh. Prefers to go long. At the back is Lovett. Be able to gather this one in, can he? No. Baker trying to spin out. Just about caught with the ball. He is, says the umpire. Leon Baker, though, has been a good kick. That has been a good player today. Oh! Simon Madden got reported for a similar thing to that. Similar, I said, not the same. Now, this is breaking away for Melbourne. Is Yates. Up to half forward. Chance for Jackson. The ball just bounding away from him. Couldn't gather it. And one behind. Still 18 minutes and a bit left in the game. 5 goals the difference, so the task is not an impossible one, but Melbourne's only kicked 11 so far.
Trying to think of moves Melbourne could make to get back into this game, but they've tried just about everything. They're just short of manpower.
Short being the operative word, isn't it, today? Under these conditions, Folds' kick covers about 50 metres. Now Walsh backtracks, wobbles it off the side of the boot. Underneath it is Watson. Jay Viney hipped him out. Stale like developing in midfield, it will be a bounce.
Well, it could almost have been a free kick to Watson then. He was hipped out of the contest very early.
Yeah, very early.
Very early. That's the secret to it. And Watson has been absolutely brilliant today. Salmon. Ooh, the Melbourne player got one high. Here's Hawker trying to shovel it out. In went Harvey. And, well, there he is, bottom of the pack, Mark Harvey. That's where he normally is, trying to get the hard ball.
Just reflecting, Kevin Sheedy doesn't seem to have made as many moves off the bench today.
No, and that's good. It's allowed them to settle down a bit. There's Salmon tapping it over his head. There's Salmon again, hooking it back to half forward. Lovett. Just hasn't been Brett Lovett's day. A few of the Melbourne players have gone right off the boil. Long hand pass, stretch. Half forward. He's had one long run this term. There's another one. Sean White's over the back. And the pace of Ricky Jackson. This should be a goal coming up for the Demons, and it is.
Well, it's an understatement to say a much-needed goal. Ricky Jackson's second goal for the day. 2 goals, 1 to the little fellow. Read that well, actually, and used his speed to advantage. He has got great speed, set up a high ball, as I mentioned at half-time. That's the value of playing the long ball from the centre wing. If you can get it down there quick enough, anything can happen. It's all very well playing possession football here, there and everywhere, but something might happen, and it did on that occasion through a long ball from the centre.
So Melbourne still trailing by 4 goals, and that basically was the difference at three-quarter time. So on the 9 odd minutes played so far, they haven't made any inroads on this rather handsome Essendon lead. 16 1/4 minutes remaining in the game. 4 goals the difference. That was Jackson's second. Madden palms it down. Yates in the road for Melbourne if he can gather. To half forward. Oh, Melbourne needs some hope down there, and they didn't have it. Folds. Chris Danaher doing battle with Flintoff. He beats both of those players out of bounds. Throw it inside 50. Right half forward flank for the Demons.
Yates now on the wing and Lovett in the back pocket. Spalding on the ball and Steins at centre half forward.
Steins contesting this duel with Madden. Folds again. Short kick still inside the 50-metre line. Anderson overruns it. Chance for O'Donnell. Brushes one tackle. Does it rather well. Oh, Watson was lined up and luckily it missed. O'Donnell again. Hawker. Lovett. This one he should have taken. Will get the free kick for being grabbed when not in possession. Brett Lovett would be too happy with perhaps his efforts today. He was dragged once from the ground. I've seen him play better, I must admit. Started off on Terry Danaher. Played rather loosely. There's a great mark. Madden. Down to Izard. Folds telling him to keep going and go long. He does that. Grinter was the flyer. Buick at the back. Road was there. Clark gets put out of business. Terry Danaher down. Campbell. Favourable bounce. Not a stretch. I can have to say, Don, he's just about Melbourne's best player, really. For consistency, anyway. Madden again. Umpire has played it. Wilson trying to break clear. It will be Simon Madden's mark. He's gone for a short pass, and again he gives it to Izard.
Well, didn't quite get to it, Izard. Hamilton is there to help him out. Look at this, 4
players by themselves.
Yes, 4 Essendon players, and they just casually bring the ball up, a short pass to Baker, to Folds, and oh, he's caught. Oh, could have been holding. Oh, he nearly blew the whistle in, Clayton. There's the brilliant Watson again. Up in the air. Clark should mark this. He does. Now, let's see if he runs off. That 50 against Graham Yates now. He's done it a couple of times. Now, that is poor play because they were still in the game, 4 goals down. And Clark will kick now from almost in the square, the 10-metre square. Oh, he tripped him up. Silly play.
Just sit there and shake your head, can't
Well, they can't take him off, Don.
Well, they've got no one to replace him with. It's been a very undisciplined performance in those last couple of minutes by Melbourne.
Well, this is Stephen Clark from directly in front, going for goal number 3, and he's put it through.
Well, I had great admiration. I still do have great admiration for Stephen Clark. A couple of years ago, He was brilliant. He had tremendous speed, then unfortunately ran into a very high elbow or body or whatever, broke his jaw, and he just hasn't been the same player since. And I do hope that he gets back to what he was. That's his 3rd goal for the day.
It was carried off earlier in the year against St Kilda, I think, too, wasn't it?
I think you're right too, Peter, and I feared the worst for him then, but he has recovered and seems to be overcoming that problem. And Essendon about to make a change with Considine warming up on the boundary. And Kevin Sheedy, as we mentioned earlier, hasn't made too many changes off the bench as he normally does today.
Under 14 minutes remaining in the game, Essendon with a 5-goal break. To have Melbourne at their mercy. Madden to Watson, classical stuff from the 2 Essendon veterans down towards Van der Haar, and there was the 3rd. He couldn't take a great tackle though, Paul Van der Haar.
It was a strong tackle.
It was a strong tackle. I often think that the tackle isn't rewarded as often as it should be.
Terry Danaher is coming off to be replaced by Considine.
Obviously, Kevin Sheedy feels that his job is done for the day. Clark trying to break clear. Great hand pass to Buick. That could be another. Salmon. Oh, his arms shot out like a lizard's tongue there to take that. Take a look at it again. Watch these arms shoot out.
Well, I think the normal side player would have no hope of getting to that.
Salmon in the pocket. Plenty of daylight between the posts. And he's kicked 3 so far. Don't think that's going to be his 4th. Judging by the crowd reaction, or lack of it behind the goal. Terry Danaher beat the tribunal during the week. The more laconic members of the Essendon side, been a great player.
A great guy too, Terry.
He is.
Very funny man off the field, Terry, in his own way.
Getting round to clean your windows. Grinter kicks in. Salmon. The tallest man on the field. Will he give it to Van der Haar or Clark? It's going to be Clark.
They don't like Grinter, do they, out here?
Well, Clark took the mark. He was almost set up. A busy day. 16 kicks. Would be goal number 4 for Stephen Clark. Same position that Salmon had the ball. Now he's allowed a little bit too much. Missed on the other side. 1 behind by Stephen Clark. 5 goals to the difference now. Advantage of 32 points with just over 12 minutes to go. Let's see which way Grinter goes this time. I would venture to suggest he'll try to keep it away from Paul Salmon. There's Madden. Now Essendon with height aplenty. Izard and Campbell. Izard puts the body in well. So too about 3 or 4 others. Now it's going to be a bounce.
Well, this bounce will take place about 30 metres out from the Essendon goal, and really Melbourne badly undermanned. And
do you think undermanned or undisciplined, Peter?
Well, a bit of both, and they're also off the ball. They're completely out of form, Melbourne, and they do lack forwards, and it's been really they're being found out because of that. Is Johnson getting it down towards the wing. David Williams is there, and Brian Wilson. Wilson actually tried to keep it back in play, but it beat him over the line. So about 11 minutes to go.
You'd have to question the commitment of some of those Melbourne players too, because earlier in the game when it was there to be won, just a big question mark against desire.
32 points the difference of Madden to Folds. Wilson grabs it and brings it to half forward. Chris Danaher is the man in the race for the ball. He's got it. Hand pass back to Walsh. Oh, Walsh will end up with this too easy. O'Donnell, and the umpires found a free kick out of that one. It'll go to Kevin Walsh, I would think, on that half-back flank area.
Kevin Walsh from left half-back. O'Donnell. Jackson stands the mark. O'Donnell's kicked a couple of goals himself today. Goes inboard towards centre field, and Harvey, Stretch got flattened behind the play. She'll get the free kick.
Shivering by Madden.
Short. Oh, Folds chips in beautifully. No one marking him. Long to half forward. That's going to be a free kick to Darren Buick against Jamie Dersma. goals so far from his 11 kicks. And kicking from pretty well right on 50. In fact, a little bit more than that. Greg Anderson kicked a goal from a similar position. He's got some distance in the kick, but only one behind. So Essendon's lead still 5 goals plus. Tommy Hafey, an interested spectator, 17-12 to 12-9. Hasn't been a good half for Melbourne. Buick, useful dummy. Salmon. Good tackle by Lovett. Salmon still plenty of time to measure the hand pass out to Van der Haar. I'll tell you what, he'd just about be in their boats today too. Well, 2 Essendon players collide. They haven't made too many mistakes today. That was Clark and Izard, Baker, Hawker. Essendon players running everywhere.
Great play that, John.
That's a terrific play. We saw that earlier when Van der Haar spotted Danaher up the other end of the ground by centering. And great play there by Baker. He could have tried to twist and turn and have a shot for goal, but saw Glenn Hawker on left of his left side. Terrific pass.
11 kicks to Glenn Hawker. Shot at goal is target, or is it coming around? That's a goal.
Well, very lucky to make the distance, that kick by Hawker. An indication of how strong this wind is. Very fluky today, and coming between those 2 stands, and Hawker kicking directly into it. We'll see here the high ball from Hawker, and there it is, holding up in that breeze, and it just got over. The players expected him to kick that rather easily, but he didn't.
Well, the sting's gone right out of this game at the moment with 6 goals, 3 the difference. 39 points the difference. This is Ricky Jackson showing his explosive pace. Spalding, he's had a quiet day. He's got it though now at half forward. He turns round, swings it back, and it's helped on its way by Gary O'Donnell through for a point. So 82 plays 120. So 38 points the difference. So I'd say it's curtains for Melbourne, and a big danger of missing the final 5. Melbourne, who would have thought that a few weeks back?
Amazing.
Harvey, a shocking kick by Harvey. It might just lob in, it does. It beats Greg Anderson over the line. Now, I think there's a lot of sides don't really want Essendon in the final 5, as a matter of fact. They consider them a bit of a danger in finals. There's Madden, particularly with that height they've got. Umpire Sheen said there was a free kick to Graham Yates, and they're relaying the ball back now on centre wing. Yates, a real good trier he is for Melbourne. Towards half forward, Ricky Jackson and Williams both rove the packs. Williams hooks it back now. They've got someone there to grab it. A bounce favours Walsh. Sean White, good play to stretch onto the left foot, chips it in at goal, and I think he might have put it through. He has.
That was a lot of class there by Stephen Stretch, and also good play by White. White on occasions when playing down on that full forward line just hasn't quite put the pressure on when the opposition had the ball, and they've been able to take it away rather easily. Caught behind on that occasion. Luckily, it got away from Walsh. White followed up, and great skill there by Stephen Stretch. He does possess a lot of skill, the wingman.
88 to 120. Bombers again into attack. Oh, Van der Haar once more. Takes mark number 13. A free kick now, I think.
Whatever. Could have been really cleaned up.
Is Salmon going to get a free kick or not? He is, yes.
What's he got to do to earn a mark?
He deserved to have it, Van der Haar. But the free kick must have been there before him.
Must have been a shepherding, a holding infringement. I think Dersmer's a man. Holding infringement.
Salmon's kicked 3 goals. Clark's also kicked 3 for Essendon, the Bombers' leading contributors. I think 11 Essendon players have kicked goals. It looks like Salmon's 4th. Smile on his face. Poor Van Haar, I dare say, could have kicked it as well. It was a fine mark. It wasn't ultimately paid. The sting, as we've mentioned, gone right out of. Here's the free kick there against Jamie Dersmer. So the umpire correct.
And the ball very well fetched out of the centre by Essendon on that occasion. Very, very quickly and well done.
Gee, she enjoys the football, that lady.
Which one?
Well, the one on the left. Both of them.
Thank you. 6 3/4 minutes remaining, and the Bombers now doing it easily to keep their final 5 hopes alive. They can still make it depending on what happens in other games today and also next week. Lovett. Hand pass on to Johnson over the head of Clark to Peter Rode on right centre wing. Rode down towards right half forward. The mark taken by Viney. Jay Viney. Brother Todd not in the side today. Into the pocket. Wide as the Flyers, so too as Madden. It comes to Chris Danaher. Out to Darren Buick outside the 50-metre line. To Hawker. To Folds. The veterans combining well. And there's another one. I think in the eyes of just about everybody here, best on ground. Timmy Watson to Izard. Good tackle by Steins. Back to Jay Viney. Jay Viney from midfield. Spiral punt kick. Love to see them kick. Plenty of distance in that. White will claim the mark. No, he won't, because it's knocked away by Anthony Danaher. O'Donnell's hang pass picked up ultimately by Madden. Oh, trouble much with the kick though, but the result was okay. Clark to Anderson, who's a beautiful kick. Tries the pass. Oh, clean bowls, love it. Baker on to Clark. Clark from 20 metres out. That could be another one, but he's missed, I feel. Yes, he has. One behind. You can't believe it. 19-13 to 13-10.
A couple of great bounces there favoured the Essendon players then, and they're pretty excited. Is that same lady there, Pete?
Oh, she hasn't had a heart attack.
Well, we shouldn't be laughing if that's the case. There's Dersma. Oh, Watson, another hand pass. Here he'll end up with it again probably. Oh, he tapped it on beautifully to Clark, to Hawker, and it's a free kick to Melbourne for holding the man, and the player to take it looks like Dersma, or will it be Healy?
Clark's had 19 kicks and 6 hand passes, so he's played a good game today, hasn't he?
Yep, Greg Healy. Or 2-on-1 here. Watson cleverly used his body to allow Hamilton to come through. Now it's set up here for Paul Salmon. He ducks back. Nearly a good mark to Rode. In fact, the umpire is paying it. Now he's called the play on. Peter Rode, the former Carlton player, the half-back, Jay Viney. He's taken the mark. Off he goes towards centre wing, but oh, poor kick. Straight in the hands of Gary Folds. And he's played a very nice little game across that half-back line. 18 kicks. Good play by Harvey to punch it on. Very tired Jimmy Steins gets it across the Stretch. Good player, Stretch. Alan Johnson's been fairly quiet today. Towards half forward. This is Sean White. Couldn't take the mark. Now he's got it again. An open goal as he kicks off the side of the boot, right into the face of the breeze. He's put it out of bounds on the full.
It's not going Melbourne's way. That's been the case for quite a while. Folds measures a hand pass to Hawker. Back to Folds. They're really doing as they like, aren't they? Hamilton. Short of the right centre wing position. Goes straight down ground. Izard marks on the edge of the square. He's been brought back. Much to his annoyance. 13 kicks and 5 hand passes.
That's unbelievable. The Melbourne fellows, they were telling one another to go and pick that fellow up, Ed Considine, and not one of them made a move.
Spent a lot of time on the bench today, Considine. Has a chance to bring up his first goal from about 35 metres out on a about a 40-degree angle. And the wind will bring it back. It's going to be close. We're right on the goal umpire, one behind. So a point to Essendon with under 3 minutes remaining in the game now. The Bombers lead by 40 points. They kicked a further 5 goals to 3 in this last quarter to consolidate their position. Hawker was the flyer. Ball knocked down by Spalding. He'll race for it out here. Viney may get there first. No, he doesn't. Picked up by Hamilton. That was a high tackle on him. Not seen by the umpire. Spalding. Loose ball for Watson. Picked up by Buick. Plenty of weight being used in the packs now. Hawker takes the hand pass from right centre wing. Towards Van der Haar. Couldn't take the mark. Players lying spread eagle there. Considine and Van der Haar. Rode. The hand pass to Lovell. Lovell straight down the ground. No one home though. And Chris Danaher takes the easiest of those.
The way Paul Vanderhaar throws himself into the packet and into the air takes a lot of courage. There's a different type of courage, and no wonder he gets hurt.
Well, that kick is out of bounds on the full, and there's Ed Considine, who collided with Vanderhaar when they went for that mark. This is Ricky Jackson taking the penalty kick. He's on the right side of the ground to have a shot, and he's right on the boundary line though. He'll take a great kick. It's a wobbly one as he's put it through for a point. Paul Vanderhaar with a big grin on the face is coming off the ground, and coming on is Dean Wallace. Vanderhaar to the plaudits of the Essendon stand, and loving out here the Flying Dutchman.
It's his first game back for a long time, and he has done well today.
He has done particularly well, and he'd be an acquisition in finals with his high marking. 12 kicks and 12 marks he's taken. This is Hawker. Towards the centre of the ground, Wilson. Well, they've been very spasmodic, some of these Melbourne players. This is Lovell onto the left foot, looking, oh, he was looking for Spalding, but punched away. Graham Yates, 45 metres out, fires at goal, and he's missed also. So the sting right out of the game. Essendon well on top, 19-14 to 13-12.
Sorry scoreboard for Melbourne. For Essendon, great to see Vanderhaar back. Played in 2 Essendon premiership sides as Walsh at left half-back flank. Has all the time in the world to ultimately get his kick in. Down to Hawker. The 2 police horses look on, rather disinterestedly.
Reminds me of a player that used to play at Hawthorn, Kevin Walsh, David Polkinghorn.
Not the police horses.
Yeah. Not the most skilled player, but you couldn't question their attack at the ball.
Said uninterestedly, because if you're disinterested, you're impartial, aren't you? I suppose the police horses are that too. Wilson getting decked on the boundary line. We get a free kick for that. He will, says the umpire. And Wallace wants to go on with it. He's going to get 50 metres for that little indiscretion by Dean Wallace. But it's going to make much difference to the end result of the game, because we've only got a few seconds to go. Time on will be added until he takes up his position on the mark. 13 kicks for Wilson. That wouldn't be his busiest afternoon. Centering kick in front is Anthony Danaher. Is that a mark? No, not paid to Spalding either. Didn't think it would be. O'Donnell might get underneath it. He has done to take the grab in front of Jackson. And there's the siren, a convincing win to Essendon. Still in the hunt for the bye. Well, the Bombers flying high this afternoon. Let's check the final score. Essendon 19 goals, 14, 128, defeating Melbourne 13-12, 90. Very disappointing performance from the Demons. They've now lost their last 5 non-stop.
Yes, and it'll be a very, very happy Melbourne camp tonight. They've got a lot of injuries, and there's Simon Madden being carried off. He's done particularly well. I think he can go on for another couple of years, Simon Madden. He's done well. Usually when you reach 300, that's the decline. But Simon, at the pinnacle of his career, he's a very good ruckman, and it's good to see the fellows running across there congratulating him. And he's a very nice fellow off the ground as well. Well done, Simon Madden.
Okay, the final scores here as Simon Madden is cheered from the ground. Essendon 19-14, convincing winners over Melbourne 13-12 in our match of the day at Windy Hill.